What's up, my archfiends of chaos? This is your king of the night, Vincent Valentine EX Turk, coming back at you with a brand new video. And well, I wanted to talk about this for a long time, but never got the round to do it. But I know I'm doing now. I get people say, "You do too many Final Fantasy 15 videos." Well, first of all, this is my channel. A, I do what the fuck I want on my channel. Two, you don't have to watch it. So, for the people who do enjoy my content, let's keep going. Was Ardyn wasted potential? Yes. And the reason why I say it is the final battle was disappointingly easy. Now, I don't get why it's disappointingly easy, but it is. And I'm going to criticize Final Fantasy XV for poor writing again. Yes, we all know Noctis gets the power of the keys, the full power by Bahamut. We all know he made the deal. Yes, he made the deal to get the actual powers that, he got from Ardyn. Yeah, not Ardyn, I mean Bahamut. But this is where Noctis, even though I love Noctis and I relate to Noctis, as a matter of fact, I connect to Noctis in a spiritual level because I feel some of the things he feels. I don't want to be all about royalty and power and stuff like that. I want to relate to others. I feel that. But I gotta say that Noctis is kind of a Mary Sue. Because even though, yes, in the story you get the complete power of the kings, the full extended power at the cost of your life, because you'd still think that Ardyn would still be a difficult final boss battle. Matter of fact, Ardyn was actually the easiest boss battles. You could just be level 40 and beat Ardyn. That's why I'm hoping that they patch the game and make and put verse parts in the game where Ardyn is actually harder. Make the battle a lot longer. Not to mention, in previous Final Fantasies, yes, sure, you had to fight final bosses with transformations in Ardyn, and I like that Ardyn didn't transform because it would have got repetitive real fast. But they could have done like Caius, where you had to face him through verse 1 all the way through 4, and maybe third or second verse would be like the hardest, and fourth could be the easiest. I don't know. But I feel like that Ardyn could have been a harder boss if they would have, if Tabata would never have put the Mary Sue-ish thing. I get in the story that Noctis gains the full power of the kings. He has enough power to defeat Ardyn. We get it in the story, but I think as much as you hype Ardyn to be the big villain as he is, considering he's affected all the Brothers episode DLCs, he's affected Noctis' storyline, side characters, anybody who was victims to the Niflheim Empire was Ardyn's truly, at fault. The Pyro Burner turning against the Astral Kind, Ardyn again. You'd think that they would make him stronger, which they didn't. This is why I think that Ardyn was wasted potential, And not only that, you were Noctis facing Ardyn. Ardyn should have been a challenge, considering you don't get to have your bros with you fighting on the fighting against Ardyn, because Ardyn would have a 1-on-1. You'd think it'd be a little harder, considering that. And I get that they're trying to figure out a way to kill Ardyn off. I know it was hard. I know he's tied to the Ring of Lucii. I know Ardyn's backstory. As much as I put hours in Final Fantasy 15, I know all that. I just concerned that Ardyn could have been a much better villain if his final boss fight wasn't wasted. I think that's when he became wasted potential. He was good through all the way through the game. As a matter of fact, you didn't even know he was a villain until I think Chapter 6, when he killed Luna Freya, and it shocked us by surprise. Well, I kind of knew he was a villain because not just only because he says he's Chancellor of Niflheim, and Noctis knows him as Chancellor of Niflheim, but it's also the fact that you couldn't trust this dude. Okay, let's just be quite honest. He was a snake. He was the perfect snake. He will buy you lunch. He will put you in a nice hotel. He will hook you up with the hottest women on the fucking planet, but stab you in the back afterwards. That's the kind of character Ardyn was. He was a perfect villain. He played Insomnia. He played Niflheim. He played everybody. He played the Astrals. He played everybody. Everybody played in this dude's hands. Everything was according to this dude's plan. Now, I know I'm ranting, but I gotta say, I'm disappointed. He could have been better potential. I think they wasted Ardyn's potential because they want to marry Sue Noctis. I love Noctis as a character. And Noctis, it's not your fault. It's the director again. Final Fantasy XV director Hajime Westabu Tabata. Sorry, but I have to go at Tabata. I have to take shots at this. This was another poor choice that Tabata has done. You know, I think when he put Noctis, when he got Noctis into Tekken game, that actually fixed Final Fantasy XV's reputation. But I think for when it comes to villain, Ardyn could have been a better villain if his boss fight would have been a little harder. Even Ravis was harder. Demon Ravis took 14 Phoenix Downs, 14 high elixirs. I didn't even use one elixir against Ardyn. You know? At all. That's why I don't get why. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm at a high level now, so I body everybody in Final Fantasy XV. But that's not the point, you know? It's not about bodying people. It's for people who want to play Final Fantasy XV and think that Ardyn's a good villain and they think that he's one of the best villains of Final Fantasy of all time. And he could have been. He could have been, you know? I think Ardyn was wasted potential. I think Ardyn was truly wasted potential because Tabata's shit writing. He wanted to find a way to kill Ardyn fast. Instead of actually, I don't know, making it like regular Final Fantasies. In Final Fantasy 13-2, you had to fight Caius 4 times. And he got harder and harder each time. You know, same thing with Benevelza. Even though they Mary sued Lightning and made her all powerful, it still was at least a challenging fight. It wasn't the hardest fight, but Benevelza was challenging. Especially for the fact the first round you got a death counter where if he goes all the way down you die and you have to use a Phoenix Down, so you waste your Phoenix Downs and your high elixirs. You know, you didn't have to waste any elixirs to Ardyn. All you had to do was keep swinging at Ardyn until the cutscene happens. And once the cutscene happens, then, you know, once the cutscene actually happens, then it'll show Noctis unlock his true power. And when he unlocked his true King's power, Ardyn was outclassed. And I think that's kind of a wasted potential. I get that you have to have the hero stronger than the villain. I understand you gotta beat the main villain, you know, and let's be honest, I do want Ardyn beat. I do want Ardyn sent away, because Ardyn was pure evil. And he was so miserable, you gotta put that dude out of his misery. Because he was so miserable, he caused misery around the whole world for 3,000 years. He's past a senior citizen. I get that you had to finish him off, but you could have made the fight better. You could have made the fight. Now, don't get me wrong. The fight scene was pretty and stuff like that. It was well decorated. It had a little bit of Matrix with Dragon Ball Z kind of style with a little bit of Bleach and some other stuff. It looked pretty. It looked like a typical anime fight that people actually liked. Don't get me wrong. I'm not judging the, you know, fight choreography. I just think that Ardyn should have been a better boss because he was wasted potential. You hype all this villain up through the whole entire game. You've hyped this villain all the way up from the movie Kingsglaive when he first appears to Final Fantasy XV. All to make him disappointing. All to make it disappointing. Now, I understand Vice de Cumin and Dirge of Cerberus was going to be easy because, well, Dirge of Cerberus is a, you know, spin-off game that does not involve RPG elements, and let's be honest, nobody really cares about the final bosses in spin-off games. Let's be quite honest with ourselves, you know, and even though I kind of like Vice, you know, no one really cares about the spin-off villain games, you know, villains of the spin-off games. People care about the main games because those are the ones that are going to get sold more. That's the one that's going to get spin-offs. That's the one that's going to get merchandising and everything. And I think Ardyn would have been not wasted potential if they would have stayed right to the Final Fantasy formula. Instead of trying to write a bullshit way of how Noctis kills Ardyn, it should have been 4 battles. Then after, once the 4th battle start happening, then let Noctis unlock the true King's power. and then, you know, you send Ardyn away like normal. That way we would feel like it was the final boss. It was more as like, that's it? Even Ifrit was harder than he was. So am I confused? Is Ifrit actually the final boss or Ardyn? I don't know. But that's Tabitha's writing, but I think, sadly, Ardyn was wasted potential. Ardyn was wasted potential as a villain. I'm sorry to say that. I know there's Ardyn fans out there, and you know, I like Ardyn as a villain, but I gotta be quite honest, he was wasted potential. So tell me what you think in the comments below, and may the crystal be with you. Could Tabitha have wrote this better? Let me know in the comments below.